Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday.
Yes, happy Saturdays. Saturday, December 21. Hi, C. Morales. Hi, Squeegee of Justice.
Hey
Welcome. We have
guys.
0 viewers right now. There we go. We got 5. Hi, hi, hi.
Hiya, hiya. Can you believe
Yeah,
it's almost the end of the year?
I just popped up
I
on my
just
own screen. That's really weird. Um, and I have no idea what's happening here with my hair.
yeah,
Yeah,
I have this
no,
thing here.
I cannot believe it's the end of the year actually.
Yeah,
And it's a little chilly. I'm a little chilly. I have the
me
slider
too.
open for Henry, who has been very meowy and very bitey and will probably try to walk across my computer.
Oh
Should
boy.
be super fun. So, how is the weather in West Virginia?
Cold.
Like
Cold.
how cold?
Our
Like
wind
what?
chill is 8. Yeah. Our wind chill is 18. That's the wind chill, 18. So yeah, it's 28, wind chill 18. So that's cold.
Like, do you go
So
outside?
hell no.
No.
No. I go out,
You,
like I'll let my dogs out, and sometimes I'll go out there and stand for a couple of minutes. I'm like, you all got to come in. And then
like,
the funny thing is, my one dog, the Sheba, she'll go out there, she'll just sit in the yard. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you need to come in. And she runs around the yard. I'm like, come in. It's too cold out there. And she'll sit there and she'll literally go. I'm like, oh my god. She'll peek
wow.
around the house at me. No,
Hi, OnlyFan. Good
Hi, only
evening.
fan.
OnlyFan's on the
Julie,
way to work
Barry.
in Singapore. Hi, Mom. She says Columbus is frigid. Julie, good
Yeah,
to
we
see
have
you.
the
Hi,
same
Barry
temperature, I think, Mama
Adams.
Sue.
Nice to see you. I didn't want to hijack Tamika's stream earlier, but I'm always happy to answer your questions. So yeah, I don't think it's all that cold here, but like Florida cold to a Florida person is always extreme. It's a different kind of cold once your blood
Yeah,
is has turned to Florida, as
right.
I believe mine has after 20 years. So it says it's 51 degrees and feels like 45. To me, it
That's
might as well
cold for
be
down
like
there.
30,
Yeah, it's probably cold for
but
down there.
you know,
Hey,
it's
Julie.
cold. It's cold for here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to have 30s and 40s like all the way through next week, but it's supposed to rain on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So no snow, just rain.
Well, if it's that cold, it's
So
not going to snow. That doesn't become like an ice situation.
no, I guess because I mean it's supposed to be like next weekend, 40 all the way up to 48 and 49. So
Yeah. Do you
we'll
know what's interesting?
see.
Oh, Barry Adams says it's going to be 3 degrees where he is.
Oh
3.
no, mm-mm. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. You can keep that. Arizona, 81. Mother Nature's on crack. I believe that. I do believe that. I
I
believe it.
I have my car, which I bought here in Florida, has air conditioned seats, but it also has a heated steering wheel and heated seats.
We have heated seats, yeah.
But why would it be necessary to sell a Floridian a car with a heated steering wheel? I
For
mean,
when
I
you
liked it when
travel.
I drove it to Ohio and it snowed.
That's
I was
why.
I was
When,
happy for that. But that's 1 week out of the last 5 years.
maybe they figure that all the people that live away from you are in cold places like me.
I don't know.
And Barry. And Barry.
I guess I like the air conditioned seating. Yeah, Barry,
We
because
don't
we
have
drove
that.
back up north. Well, I did that once. It snowed and
Yeah.
I came back home. So sorry to mom and dad and
Yeah, we had a
any of
little
my
bit of
Ohio
snow.
friends.
That one day we had snow, but it was gone by morning. It just like it melted as soon as it came.
Oh, Mom, are we cutting into the Ohio State football game? Are you having to
Oh,
watch your daughter stream instead of the football game, or you have both on?
I'm a Georgia fan, so hopefully you still like me after this. I
Uh,
am.
oh, wow. Barry Adams says he's in Connecticut. We got the snow and run hurricane risk too. I did my first year of college in Boston, Massachusetts,
In
and I'm
Boston.
originally from Ohio. Okay. So I thought I knew cold.
Mm-mm.
No, I didn't know what cold was until I spent uh, 9 months in Boston, Massachusetts. So then the next place I went to college was Texas
That's a big
because,
difference.
yeah, yeah. And from Texas, then California, and quick trip to Ohio, and then down to Florida. Hey, Mandy
Well,
Strong.
hey, Mandy.
I should have texted Leah. She keeps forgetting what day of the week it is.
Hey, Mandy, how's your dad doing?
Mom, Chris put the first part of the Ohio thing in the chat. I don't know if you can see that. I'm texting Leah really quick.
I didn't see it.
See if she comes back.
So
Mandy
glad
says
to
her
hear
dad's
that.
doing much better today.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean,
Good,
yesterday
good,
was pretty
good.
rough. I
Good,
rescue
good.
rescue barking dogs. Oh, you put barking in there. They bark now. They weren't
Nice.
barking before.
I rescue barking dogs. I didn't know that dogs came but didn't bark.
Basenjis.
Do they make a version that doesn't bark?
Basenjis don't bark as much.
Okay, you learn something new every day. Well, so good news for you guys is that I actually got some documents over here to this browser that I come on here with. So Mom says it starts at 8 o'clock. She can watch both at once. You are coming leaps and bounds in your digital abilities, Mom. Like I'm very impressed. Yeah. Julie wants to know, Mandy Strong, how your dad is. Barry wants to know, can he put the question on the agenda? If you get clients who come in primed by their jailhouse lawyers and you kind of have to educate them, and are they receptive? So I loved this question when I saw it, but like you asked it on somebody else's stream, so I definitely didn't want to answer it. So yes, the answer is yes. Sometimes it's the client themselves that they have access now to Westlaw, and if you don't know, Westlaw is a legal search engine, I guess is the best way to describe it. So there's LexisNexis and there's Westlaw, and they cost money, but it's where all the case decisions go. And there's like a form builder now for pleadings, and you can find all the statutes and all the different things there. Well, even here at the county jail, they now have access to Lexis. So everybody wants to do case law research, and then they want to bring it to you. And the thing is that there could be a really great quote that you love so much that came from a case. That doesn't mean it's going to do you any good. And so it's like I have to give a little mini law school lesson, and explain that you can't just pull stuff in a vacuum. You need a factually similar scenario. It needs to be a controlling court. All sorts of different things. But yes, they often come in primed. And now that I have an attorney that accompanies me most of the time to the jail, I have to do less of that because that's his department now. And when I was going and yeah, exactly, Barry, he says that's the rub. Case law can only be applied if the same facts apply to you. Not only that, but it has to be, hey, Judy T, nice to see you. It has to be controlling, and also still has to be good law. It can be old law, but it has to be good law. So there's a number of factors, and yeah, I the longer they sit in jail, which I was looking through my cases today, like to bring you guys some documents. And I was looking, and so many of my cases are 5 years old now. Like they're closed. A lot of them are closed, but like I'm bringing you some cell phone information. So I wanted it to be more current, and I'm realizing, people are just sitting for jail sitting in jail for years before going to trial. And it's crazy. Mandy says that I leave town tomorrow to spend Christmas with my son, who is a Marine. Thank you for his service. And it would crush me to have to cancel that. I can go because your dad's better. That's great.
Good.
And Barry Adams says, unless a very, very smart attorney can convince a judge to set a precedent. Right. Are you a very, very smart attorney, Barry? Asking for a friend. So I have some documents for you guys, and I'm gonna finish up a little bit of the sentencing stuff. So I went in and I pulled the PSI reports that I kind of read to you. I've redacted them. I'm just gonna put them up and sort of scroll through. I've got a state one and a federal one so that you guys can see what those look like. And then we're gonna move into the wonderful world of cell phones.
It'll be good. It'll be
Gary
good,
Adams
good,
says
good.
no, he's a very nerdy nonprofit accountant. Well, good for you.
Good.
Good.
I'm just a nerd. I'm just, as Squeegee likes to say, I'm unique. I'm unique. And my husband says uniquely weird. And I said, okay, I'll take that too.
Quirky, unique. I remember, so I went through sorority rush at a Southern university as a girl who had just come from Boston. So I had a black bob that was angled, the bangs. I wore Doc Marten boots with baby doll dresses because this was the 90s, early 90s. And in Dallas, Texas, those girls were wearing matching like track suits with like, expensive sneakers and big diamond earrings. So when I went through sorority rush, they would say to me, "Oh, are you an art major?" No, I wasn't an art major, but I got your point. Thanks so much. Julie, it is not a silly question. Do I work with the Innocence Project? I do not. There are some nonprofits out there for investigators, one of which I wanted to reach out to. I can actually fill out a form and volunteer, and I can't remember what they're called, but they're from the podcast that was following the Maura Murray case forever. And then Billy Lane has a nonprofit called We Are the, oh my God, Essentials. We Are the Essentials. Hi, Krista, limited edition.
Krista.
So Billy is going to come on. Oh, I chatted with him briefly on Monday, but not about the show. But he will come on, and he's going to tell you guys about his nonprofit where they go look for people. You guys are so funny. Yes, I am a Gen X dream. I have docs in my closet right now. I only know the one Lisa Loeb song, Only Fan, but yes, I am. I could not be more Gen X, probably. I just couldn't, really and truly.
I keep trying to have the big hair. I keep trying. I'm trying to go back to it.
Yeah, I'm able to get mine bigger now.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I chopped like 8 inches off of it.
And I've
Live
grown about
music
12.
in the 90s. Hey, therapist Gino. We didn't know if we caught you last week to say congratulations on your graduation. But congratulations on your graduation.
Trail TV put up a little video for her. I don't know if you watched it yet.
No, because I have not been around the YouTubes much this week at all.
Yeah.
I've been avoiding my computer a lot because of the never-ending headache situation.
Yeah.
So I am behind in my work. I'm behind in my true crime. I sped through a hearing that Chris covered on Courtney Clenny earlier today, and I couldn't, I know what it's about, but I couldn't like reliably repeat to you what it's about. Because like
I took notes. Of course, right?
I need the JAC to pay me more money so I can hire you to work for me. Because I have a feeling that like my attorneys would not be chasing me for their work product. I would actually be giving it to them in time. It's been a difficult few weeks, but what are you gonna do? All right, so I'm super excited to see there's 19 people here. That's awesome. If you
Especially
guys
for
would
Christmas week.
I know, right? I thought we would maybe get like my mom and my dad and my stepmom and your son and
Yeah.
a pity view from somebody, but no, we're doing well. Oh, we just went to 20. There you go.
We
If you
got
guys
the old
could hit,
timers.
if you could hit the like thumbs up thingy, that'd be awesome. I'd love
Yes,
it
it
so
would be.
much. All right, so let's take a peek at this pre-sentencing investigation. Let's see. I have to
Okey-dokey.
remember what I have to remember what I have to do to make that happen. Oh my God, it's the tech part. And right here is where StreamYard says having issues.
Oh my
Always.
gosh.
Always having issues. All right, present. I want to share my screen. And oh, of course, it's backwards from the order I put it in. All right, I hope I redacted this, and I'm hoping it will come up on the screen for you guys.
Yeah, I see it. You guys see it?
Why is it on, like, I'm looking at myself on a bigger monitor, like logged in, like watching as a viewer, and it's on it's like delayed.
Yeah, there is a delay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is a current recent pre-sentence investigation report for a young client who was convicted of felony murder. So I have tried to, I pray I got it. And if I didn't get it all, that you guys will be kind enough to not try to find this young man. But this is from the Florida Department of Corrections, and it's a pre-sentence investigation for the Circuit Court of Hillsborough County. And you can see here, it starts with court data, which is murder in the first degree with a weapon while engaged in a robbery, which is 30 years or life, and robbery with a firearm, which is less than $750. So that doesn't even really do anything. But it's a second degree felony. But the first one you can see is a first degree felony, and it shows you also the statute from which the charge came. So I have tried to black out as much stuff as I can, but it gives you a sentencing status. I'm surprised that this person has habitual offender checked because he didn't have a habitual record. That's interesting. He had a jury trial. There's his arrest date that it was Hillsborough County Sheriff, how many days he was in custody. Scheduled sentencing date was back on 9/20/24. We did not get that done. So this one here is entitled description. So this is where his name, his nickname. If you have an FBI number, like I don't know what you have to do to get an FBI number. He didn't have one, but it's interesting that amongst the numbers you could have, FBI is one of them. So it just gives you sort of the personal details.
The dogs are hollering downstairs.
And then, no. And then this is information about the co-defendant. Next piece is the offense, the legal status. So the offense is as charged for count 8, robbery with a firearm less than $750, firearm possession, attempted robbery with a firearm, and count 7, murder in the first degree with a weapon while engaged in robbery, firearm. He was found guilty, but the jury also said he didn't have the gun, he didn't pull the trigger, he didn't kill the guy. He was just there. And how do we know he was there? Because his phone put him there. Yeah. So you're going to see big, huge chunks of white space. I've left sort of a little bit in here, not for you guys to read it, but just so you can see that there's a great deal of detail. There's this white has all been redacted of the crime.
Wow.
So that was just like a page and a half right there. And then you have the defendant's statement. So that's what he told the officer. And then the next section is victim impact. And the officer spoke with the victim's father. There's a section there I took out because it's more about the victim. And then here, this tells you about his prior criminal history, which you can see is dismissed, 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 dismissed.
Was it because of his age, I wonder?
Well, he would have been in juvenile court, but they dismissed they no prossed him or dismissed the charges, and he only picked up this one. It looks like, but it was Division 9. I don't even know.
Hmm.
So then it's going to go on to his education summary, and he was a kid in high school, so it would have talked about his schooling. I took all that out. Employment summary, same thing. Financial status. This is a teenager. Supplemental information. Currently required by statute. Includes a family history, marital history, military history, physical and mental health, residential history. Optional topics are alcohol, substance abuse, comments of others, educational history, employment history, and other gang membership.
Yeah, I saw where it said he was in the Crips.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This kid went to school every day. Like, he was arrested at school.
Wow.
And when you are in a gang, okay, let me rephrase this, because I've never been in a gang. In my experience, the individuals who are in a gang refuse to say that they are in a gang. I mean, it could be tattooed everywhere, but they won't tell you that. They will deny it to the moon and back. He has no gang tattoos, and he self-proclaims. I think it is actually that one or both of his older brothers were gang members, and that the
That's where they got the
gang members
affiliation.
kind of, I think they kind of like look at him as like a little brother, because one of his brothers was shot and killed.
Oh, wow.
And I think they kind of sort of like, hey, yeah, man, you're cool, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then keep going on to school. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's an actual gang member.
Right.
So this is going to talk some more personal details. And of course, he's never been married because he turned 18, I believe, in jail. Same with his military.
See the comment Mandy's got up on the screen there?
No, because I'm on a completely different screen.
Mandy said his life started on the wrong track. Interested to hear about his parents and upbringing.
Yeah, his parents, oh, I've got you guys up on chat now. His parents are still together. They came to court every single day. They are both full-time employed. They are intelligent. They are well-spoken. They present well. And I don't know. They even moved to get him away from the complex where this murder took place, and he kept going back because that's where his friends were. He'd take the public bus and go over there.
Yeah.
So, Mandy says they need to correct the habitual offender thing if he's not. Yeah, I need to ask the attorney about that. Mandy also wants the tea of the crime. Hi, Barb. You did make it live. Welcome. Nice to see you. Barb always watches the replay and always emails me, but it's nice to see you made it.
Welcome
to a live show. Do appreciate that. Mandy, I've talked about this case before. There were 6 boys who placed an order through Snapchat with a mobile dealer to buy some vapes, I think. But they allegedly were setting this kid up to be robbed. So of the 6, 2 were never charged. 2 were given sentencing consideration. So they haven't been sentenced yet because they testified at the trial. The 2 that went to trial are my guy and another guy. The other guy was acquitted. He had no phone. Nobody could say he was there. He never showed up. There was 2 surveillance cameras that caught portions of the groups and their phones. the phone is what got my guy convicted because he was there. And the young man that they attempted to rob was shot and killed. And he was also 19 years old. He was a teenager too.
Wow.
So it could have been roles reversed very easily. And I've had a lot of discussions. Well, Mandy, I would never say if I knew who pulled the trigger. I'm never going to do that. Hi, interesting captures. Laura, it's been a minute. Nice to see you. Hi. They flipped on, oh, well, so two of them flipped to some extent. And honestly, they were the most important witnesses, and I was doing other work. And for that case at the trial, at the table, defense table, I couldn't even tell you what they said.
Wow.
I have to go back. So the defendant's plan, he wants to become a barber. Now his family already has a college fund paid for him.
Wow.
And I have proof of that. So the recommended disposition, what they ended up recommending, is they recommended 10 years in Florida State prison or 5 years in Florida State, followed by 5 years probation. And if you remember, and I think I talked about this last week, we had the sentencing for a kid that shot into an empty house, and he got 5 in, 5 out, and nobody died.
Wow.
So, and then the sign off. So that is what a state sentencing report looks like, or investigative report. Thank you, Laura. Laura says she's proud of me for starting my own channel. Yes. Has someone been convicted in the case for pulling the trigger? Yes, my client was the kid, the kid who sent pre-sentencing investigation report we just looked at. It's not legal to sell vapes like that, so why didn't they just rob him? He wasn't going to report. It was, I can't tell you what's in the mind of teenage boys who have gone and procured guns off the street. All I can tell you is that every freaking case I get anymore is a teenager who has shot and killed another teenager. So that is my life at the moment. Okay, I need to, I've got a federal one.
Squeegee asked a question too.
Are your clients receiving psychological help if they need it while you're working on the same case? No. No. And they're not even able to get their GEDs right now, which is making me insane.
Wow, really?
Yeah, somebody did something wrong at the jail, and now they can't have, I don't know. I need to go back and ask again, but a bunch of stuff got restricted. So no, they are not getting psychological help, Chris, and I don't believe they will even when they go on to Florida State Prison. This is the same kid I've been talking about since the very beginning of my channel. I think this is what, the 8th week now, that I've been trying to get evaluated before he is sentenced by a psychologist. And one thing I want to talk about, Jenny, if you will remind me of this, is the difference in the psychological evaluators. So there's like a forensic psychiatrist, and I have an email from the new specialist that I want to use on mitigation. She, in 2 sentences, gave me a bunch of information I didn't know before, and I think we should talk about it in a future stream.
Okay, so the differences in psycho evaluations.
In the psych,
evaluators.
Yeah, in the psych evaluations, or yeah, the doctors, the specializations.
Okay.
Judy T said, so sad when they're so young. It is, and this is the conversation that my colleague and I have daily. And the interesting part is that my colleague is 24 years old. So for him to be sitting across from these kids who he's only a few years older than, it's just crazy to see the difference, you know, in in what can happen. Mandy said, if someone gets a life sentence, what is the point of educating them? Well, there are programs in prison. There's it's so that they have purpose. I mean, the whole incarceration, I guess there's a whole big discussion we could have about that. And God knows I don't want to go anywhere near politics or anything like that. But I mean, I guess it's a question to think about. And there's a really interesting podcast. Oh my God, I can't remember what it's called. It's not Phone Calls from Prison. That's a YouTube channel. This was a podcast. I'll have to figure out what it was, but there is a creator who is podcasting from inside San Quentin, and the co-creator was an inmate. So it's like a program person that comes in and an inmate. And then during the time that they are recording this podcast where they're interviewing the different guys at San Quentin, talking about all the facets of prison life, he actually gets out. Barb says there seems to be a wide disparity in sentencing for similar crimes from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. All things being equal, it doesn't seem like justice. Well, that's what's interesting, though, I guess, about the Florida points, right? When we've looked at the score sheet, and we had you saw how complicated it was, right? That everything that went into sentencing, right? The mathematical worksheet that I showed you guys, and that there's a manual that goes along with it, and that every time you're convicted, you accumulate points, and different crimes are worth different points. So it is interesting because I hadn't actually put that together, that the young man who shot into the empty house, who may have had more of a record than this young man who was convicted of murder, they both got the same sentence. Well,
Is the podcast called Ear Hustle?
Yes. Yeah, it's really interesting. Very talented, like singers and stuff on there. It's really interesting. Yeah, so they have, Judy Girl says, oh, hi, Judy Girl. Nice to see you. Hi, Trial Junkies United. We have all the friends here tonight. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Welcome
Hello,
to
guys.
our winter
Saturday Night Live.
stream.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live. We just don't have
There you
goof
go.
stuff. We do have goofy stuff. That's us, but
Yeah.
we don't make fun of people the way Saturday Night Live.
No, but you're correct.
Just ourselves.
Yeah, the score sheet, Judy says the score sheet is like filling out IRS forms for The Sopranos. Yeah, that was really complex, right?
Yeah.
So I will have to, at some point, my friend who I talk about all the time, my 24-year-old lawyer friend, is going to come on here, and we're going to talk about what is happening in our careers, which is juveniles killing juveniles.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. PI Sam is Saturday Night Sam. Oh, thanks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, at least here in the state of Florida. I'm not sure about other jurisdictions, because like I said, I went to law school here in Florida, and I've only ever worked in Florida. So the sentencing is really interesting. Now, I should clarify, though, that the young man whose pre-sentencing investigation report we just looked at, he has not actually been sentenced, right? I'm still trying to get him evaluated for the purposes of mitigation. So I'm an investigator. I can be a mitigation specialist. I don't want to be a mitigation specialist. I would make more money. I don't want to. Guess what I'm doing? Mitigation work. But for less money. I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. So yeah, we got that. All right. So did I show the federal one? Do I need to do the federal one? Okay. All right. Oh, hold on. I have to do the things. Let's see, share screen, and we're gonna go to.
Hey, Mandy, what is your question? You said why? Why to what? What is your asking? What is your why? Why don't you want to? Oh, why don't you want to be a mitigation expert?
It's messy. It's messy. It gets into all the feelings and the emotions and the family and the backstory. And I am 51 years old. I don't want messy. I don't want people. I want to sit here in front of a whole bunch of screens and do my thing without having to get involved with the messy. I recently, I think I said in my last stream, went to visit a young man who does not agree with anything that has to do with
Yeah,
the fact
I
that he
remember.
committed a murder. And I came back to hate messages from various assorted people in his life for telling him that he is going to do life in prison because he's going to.
Well, so sorry,
Judy
Judy.
Girl says, I'm from North Minneapolis. A lot of juvenile crime and shooting of innocent children. My friend is a community activist and his 6-year-old granddaughter was
That's
shot while riding in the back
awful.
seat. I have a case where a
Sad.
6-year-old was shot and killed while riding in the back seat of a car. I sure do. That case has not gone to trial yet.
It's horrible.
Barry Adams, I'm sorry they're hard to read. Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling them in from PDFs that are sent to me electronically, and then I'm putting them into a program to redact them. So I do apologize. Jules is doing well. For anybody who is asking about her health, she is ongoing a cancer battle.
Wow, how did I not know that? How did I not know that?
I don't know.
Maybe
Mandy says, so you hand your mitigation over to the mitigation specialist? No, because the mitigation specialist only works on death cases because they get paid to work on death cases. It's messy.
Wow. Sounds like it.
It's messy.
Wow.
Talk to the JAC. Yeah. So this is this is from a case I worked on at a federal court. It's closed. He was convicted of his crimes. You can see this is 27 pages long.
Wow.
It was if you are facing the United States of America versus you, there's a 99% chance you're going to jail. Not jail, prison.
Prison.
And you can see here, yeah. It's the USC where it says 18 U.S.C. subsections 1343 and 1349 conspiracy to commit wire fraud. That's the United States Code. So you're not under you're not under state law anymore. You are functioning under the United States Code. So this was from 2023. He had, let's see. I'm sorry, I know the scrolling is probably seasicky to you guys, but we did talk about this at length before, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. So he's got one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, aggravated identity theft. But the restitution came out to $2 million. So everybody else that was charged in this went to trial, or I'm sorry, they pled. He was the only one that took it to trial.
And you can see kids.
Here, they do all your different ID. I don't even know what a PACTS number is. I know what a Social Security, FBI. I have no idea what that is. I didn't get everything redacted. So here is part A, the offense. So this says the federal grand jury sitting in the Middle District of Florida, Tampa Division returned a 2-count indictment naming this person for having done this, and then this superseding indictment. So you see it goes on, talks about the wire transfers. Here's the dates they're charging him. This was what they called title washing. So somebody was, they were basically fraudulently turning titles to cars. So they'd make up like a fake towing lien, file paperwork, and then sell the car to somebody else. It had to do with a lot of numbers.
Found out
So,
what PAX means, so whenever you want me to tell you, I'll tell
oh,
you.
of course. What is
Okay. It actually stands for Probation and Pretrial Services Automated Case Tracking System.
Okay, thank
So that's what it means. It's just a way to keep track of cases in a management tool situation. So that's what it is.
All right, I learned something new on my own stream every day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It started in April 2000, so it's not old, but it's not new. But yeah, that's what it is. Increases the availability of law enforcement to share information with one another. So just wait for them to track things.
America First FLL says Florida is so corrupt with regard to family law that a private investigator will not work directly for a party during divorce. The PI will only work for the attorney, the liar. And goes on to say Wendy Adelson is a typical lawyer in Florida. Chris says, have you followed Dan Markel's case? Okay. So the offense conduct, so this goes on to explain further how they would do this, right? They would do this title washing, and the people that work together on that. And you can see this goes on to very detailed explanation of the crimes, right? Of this scheme that went on. I mean, this is a 27-page pre-sentencing investigation, and he only had 4 counts. He was only charged with 4 counts, but here you go. There's the total loss amount for the fraud scheme is approximately $2 million. So victim impact, this tells you that the victims in this case include the banks that held the vehicles at collateral on loans, the individuals whose vehicles were sold under false pretenses, the Tampa Police Department officers whose names were fraudulently signed, towing companies listed on the fraudulent documents, newspapers who advertised false information regarding the vehicles, and the identity theft forms. The following chart outlines the financial institution victims and their losses. And I had to sit here and figure all this crap out.
Wow. So that's kind of like with Murdaugh with his financial crimes. So it's like the same type of thing, because all the places that
I went through and checked the valuation of every freaking vehicle they listed.
Wow.
How
long did it take you? How long did it take you to do all that?
I might have worked 100 hours on this case. I don't remember. Adjustment for obstruction of justice, adjustment for acceptance of responsibility. He lied. They basically say that. He did not accept responsibility. And then they also have an offense level computation, and they have a guideline just like the state does, right? I do very little in federal court. Federal cases tend to be lengthy, or they're complex. They're very complex in their discovery. They pay well for what I do. It can take 6 to 8 months to get paid though, which is problematic. But I don't do a ton of federal work. I wouldn't mind doing more of it because it's a break usually from murder, but I'm not as familiar, not that I'm overly familiar with the state sentencing, but on the federal side, I know nothing. So then they talk about the base offenses and the specific characteristics for each count. And then they go into his criminal history. And look, this goes back to 1996, trespassing on school grounds in Pinellas County, Florida. In 1999, he has a child abuse case, and it goes back through all of that.
Yeah, a lot going on there, didn't he?
Not big stuff,
reckless driving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Harry possessed and sold crack cocaine and utilized his cellular phone to do that. Tampering with evidence. Yeah, battery on Leo, possession of, the white stuff, resisting
Substances.
an officer. So it goes into details of
Shoo.
every single crime.
Wow.
It's a lot, yeah?
Troubled individual, for sure.
We're only on page 17.
And we're already at 56, 58. 58. But no pending charges. Wow. Oh my gosh, other arrests were number 62, 63. Oh my goodness. 63 charges.
Well, 63 different cases, it looks
Okay.
like, some of which were
cases.
dismissed.
Yeah, cases. Yeah.
The defendant was interviewed, and so they talked to him about his personal history. He got up and walked out one day at a meeting. He didn't like, so I needed like actual, like physical, like something printed on a piece of paper with a header and a footer stamp, something for a receipt. He just handed me some pieces of paper and did not like the fact that I challenged him on that. Like I could have done that 2 seconds ago
Yeah.
in the other room. And he didn't find that to be interesting, so he left. But it gives historical background on his family. Do not bite me.
The cat. For you guys are new, that's Henry. Henry's her kitty cat that likes to bite her. Hi, Henry.
I need you to be good, please, sir. Okay. See,
So pretty.
we're on TV. Be nice. This talks about all his family members, and where he resided, his physical condition, his tattoos, his physical health, medical records, mental and emotional health, substance abuse, education, employment record, financial condition, ability to pay. He was delinquent in his child support as well as in his collections accounts, or his credit accounts were in collections. Let's see. Then here are his sentencing options. Maximum term of imprisonment for counts 1, 3, and 4. 20 years per count. And there are guidelines here. So guideline imprisonment range 151 months to 188 months. You can see they do the math going all the way down through that as well. These are his fines. This is what he would have to pay. These costs. Is not free to commit a crime. This is the restitution. So that's different than the costs, right? So the costs we're looking at here are the Bureau of Prisons facilities, the community correction centers, supervision by probation officers. But number 112 is restitution for the $2 million. I'm not real clear as to how they think they're going to get that, since he was in default for everything anyway.
Yeah. Factors
that may warrant departure. So we've talked about departure from standard sentencing, right? And factors that may warrant a sentence outside of the advisory guideline system, notification of special conditions. Don't bite me, sir. And this is the page where they execute everything.
Wow. And how much time did he get?
I honestly don't know. I do not know. I know that I think he had to be. Alexis says, hi, Henry. Yes, Grady Judd is Polk County. I need to go back. No, stop. Please stop. You have food.
And my dog's downstairs or down near hollered because they need to go out. And your cat's biting you.
Barb says, if only people put the same effort into making a legit living that they do into these complex fraud schemes. I tell some of these kids that we see, I'm like, if you would just use your powers for good and not for evil, you'd be running the world.
Exactly.
I need you to stop.
Sometimes they get around people. It's like their processed thoughts in their head is they feel accepted in these groups that they get involved with whether it's I'm not saying like gangs, I'm just saying in general, like this group of people that might not be doing good things, and they feel like, okay, this is where I need to be. These people accept me, and they make me feel good about myself, and then they just start doing all this stuff. Before you know it, they have all these charges against them, not thinking, I'll just go do another one, I'll be fine. No, it doesn't work that way. But they feel like they belong somewhere, and that's what's sad is they don't realize that they can be a good person without that, and they just think that,
Yeah.
oh, I just need to do that because that's where I belong. And they, some kids really not. I don't think that's the right word to say, is they don't have a choice. But a lot of kids, I don't know if choice is the right word. A lot of kids have nowhere to go. Either maybe not for family situations. Like a lot of them come with perfectly good families, as we talked about. But some of these kids don't have a good home life, and they end up falling into these traps. And it's so sad because they're so young and they get involved in these horrible traps, and they stay in them. There's nothing out there for them to get them to come out of them except crime. And they just keep repeating the process over and over and over. It's just sad.
Barbara Ellison says scammers have intelligence and creativity, but are missing the idea that they could use their brains for legitimate things.
Yeah,
I think you've muted.
Exactly.
Did you mute? No. Okay. America First FLL. Do we know you?
Mandy, they're downstairs in the basement. That's why you can't hear them. I can hear them though. Oh, chain letter. Oh, I remember chain letters, Barbara. Oh my gosh, I remember those.
1962, my dad almost got in big trouble with a really stupid chain letter scheme. Oh my God, please stop.
I remember chain letters.
This cat
Back in the
has
80s.
his ears laid back. Michael Sabota. America First FLL. Your name is Michael Sabota. Is there a message here? I'm seeing all of your chats. And I'm seeing that you feel that Florida law enforcement is corrupt. I am not Florida law enforcement. You were attacked 8 times in Florida. Well,
Wow.
okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a licensed private investigator with a law degree, and I'm running an informative channel on what happens before trial. And I'm sorry to hear that you were attacked and your wife has been arrested. However, this is not a conspiracy channel. So, yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Okay, so let's see. We did that. Now we're gonna do phones. We're gonna start talking about phones. I know you guys are psyched. All right, I'm going to show you what I have. Instead of showing you the boring warrant part first, I'm going to show you a Cellebrite extraction. This one's only 4,000 pages.
Guys, you will not Cellebrite. Oh my gosh. I pulled up the manual to do those things. It's insane. Insane. All the work that goes into those reports. Insane.
I'm sorry, Jenny, say that again. I apologize.
I found the PDF on how to actually do the Cellebrite reports, like how they work. It's insane. Completely insane.
I've got a manual for the Cellebrite reader. But hold on, let me go back to StreamYard here.
Yeah, I put one in our drive. It's probably the same one you already had. But I'm like, no, it's amazing what they can get from your phones, guys. You just do not know. You might know, but you will find out some more. It's crazy.
Judy says she's been learning all about cast reports. If I have any questions, hi, Sneaky, welcome.
Ooh,
I have a cast report here. Okay, so Aaron, Trial TV Live. Can you check the chat, please? Okay, so we're gonna look. I'm sorry, I apologize. We're gonna look at this Cellebrite. Ready?
Yes.
All right, this is for an Apple phone. Okay. Hopefully it will pop up here soon for you guys.
Oh, thank you, Sneaky Side. It's the only shirt I have in this color. The only one. Goodwill or us. Worked. Okay. Here we go.
So give me 1 second, you guys.
You see what Barry said, or are you able to see the chat?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Good question.
Okay, Barry, that's funny. All right, sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, my brain. Barry says, I don't know if I, as an investigator or attorney, could make it through a 4,000+ page document to find what I need. Please tell us it's searchable and you have helpful keywords. Depends. And this, I brought you this one because it's only 4,000 pages, right?
A lot of them are a lot more.
Yeah.
Like with Murdahl, they went for just like a couple hours, and they were like, I think Paul's phone just for a few hours was like 1,000 pages, and that's just those couple hours they were looking for.
Yeah. This is not, thank you, Aaron. This is not, this will be for a specific period of time. It won't be for the life of the phone, but there's all kinds of identification information here. This is for a closed case. So you can see that there's a lot of identifying information there. So then, this is, like I said, this is for an iPhone. And this is a PDF that you can, it depends on how the person who's doing the physical extraction. So they take their phone and they plug it into the Cellebrite extractor device. There's actually a device that pulls the entire, it essentially mirrors everything that's inside the phone. Your actual phone then lives in a Faraday bag, so it can't be communicated with. But you see here, under contents, you see in the red, it says deleted. You think you are deleting things from your phone, and maybe not you, but maybe the accused may be thinking they're deleting things from their phone, and they have not. Now, I'm not the greatest or most advanced in tech out there, but my most basic explanation for this is that when you have room on your phone and you delete stuff, it's not like you take the trash out to the curb and the garbage can,
Right.
or the garbage man comes and drives it away to a landfill and it's gone. It just moves.
Yes.
And it sits there until that space is written over again by new data. Is that your understanding of it?
Yes. It's like, even like we're talking about the Murdahl with Alex's phone, he deleted like everything. Like he didn't want any trail of the different messages he was sending and the different calls, but they found it because they were able to extract it different ways. So just because you think, oh, well, they're not going to know about that conversation, they pull it. They can still see what you're trying to not have people see.
Right, and if they have your co-defendant's phone, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Plus, plus there is also the carrier detail records, which I was struggling with finding. I'm not sure I got that over here tonight. It's crazy because on my cases, I'm like, I have so many of these, but then when I go to look for them, the ones that I couldn't, I had to go back into a federal case from 5 years ago to see if I could find a carrier record. Barbara says, before you were able to back up your phone to a cloud, Cellebrite was what the phone stores use to transfer your data from old to new phones. Did not know that.
Neither.
Mandy, who has time to dig through thousands of pages of a cell phone report? Well, that's why they are searchable to an extent. Barry Adams says the T is in the red font. Mandy says I heard that many people are starting to use Faraday bags to keep their cell phones in. Like when I went to France, I bought a not terribly attractive like zipper thingy that was like RFID protected or whatever. So like my passport and my cards and my phone, I threw everything in there, but oh, okay. Trial junkie. Okay, Sneaky said, never seen a Cellebrite report with such granularity. The icon legend, very neat share. Thanks. You're welcome.
Yeah, it
You
is.
might not think so. I'm only on page 2. Don't worry, we're not going. We're not going. We're not going very far.
Yeah, I'll be more gray if we sit here and do that one by one.
At Trial Junkies United, I remembered what a geofence was regarding phones. It's awesome to learn how tech works. It is awesome, and it's really hard to keep up with. Barry,
because they always come out with something new.
There's always data about the data about the data about the data about the data. Correct.
Yes, and also about the data.
Judy T says, my FBI friend used the analogy of the info you think you're deleting should be thought of as a book. When you delete, you close the book and put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, still in that bookcase.
Barb, you are full of all kinds of fun facts. Luigi Mangione had a Faraday bag when captured in Altoona. I don't. Oh, Luigi. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not that far out of it. Interesting. Okay. And fun fact, my mom was the Altoona Belle of 1946. Interesting.
Awesome.
Okay, so all right, so yes, we have it's me trying to follow various conversations. So timeline is something that we go to frequently, and there's usually different ways in which you can when you're in Cellebrite Reader, like this is just a free PDF file, what's it called, Lumen or something, PDF reader that I'm in right now. If I were to open this in Cellebrite, which I can, it's called a UDFR report. I have the ability to do that. But what I have to do to make that happen is, this is a Mac and I would have to run Windows, which I have the ability to do that. But
it's very detailed.
I would also have to make StreamYard and Cellebrite work, and Cellebrite, I mean, this is a Mac and it's a really good Mac, and Cellebrite makes it struggle. So you're going to basically get this for now. So this is 2,000 pages in, and you can see there's a lot of like obscure data. But what also comes in here is photos, chat logs, your Instagram, your Snap, your all the things, your crazy cat videos. And then if you look here,
mobile
journeys,
payments.
yeah, your notes. I'm a huge user of the Notes app on iPhone. I use that for everything. Look, your voicemails, your web history, your wireless network.
Web history. Web history gets a lot of people in trouble.
Yeah, they do the searches, right?
Yep.
We got one this week. How much time do you spend? How much time are you sentenced to for homicide?
Yeah. That's not a good thing to look up. I hate to see what my history is after studying all this.
Yeah, exactly. Spectrum has dinged me before because they say I'm a bot because I would send out too many search inquiries at a time.
Gosh.
And then I have to call them up and have a conversation and be like, no, I'm sorry. I'm a person. This is what I do. And I can send batch inquiries. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Oh my gosh.
But here you can see energy burned. Look at this. So I'm pointing this out because we're going to go back to Murdaugh. We're going to actually watch a little piece of that trial. And Jenny's put together a big timeline and stuff for us. But I think that watching that testimony, some of it anyway, was hugely impactful for me as a person who deals with this on a regular basis, because as Mandy Strong pointed out, who has time for this, right? there is a slider function in here where you can narrow down the timeline. So you can say, I only want the information from this time to this time, these dates, right? And you can start to filter your results down. But it depends also on how or if things were tagged by the person who did the extracting. And, you know, sometimes they're looking for weapons, sometimes it's drugs. But yeah, this, you can see here, this is how many steps this person took. And so I wanted to show you that in particular because
Yeah. That's
because that's
big.
how that's a big thing for the Alec Murdaugh trial.
Yes.
And I'm glad that, like, I actually watched that trial and remembered that information. I know a lot of you guys watch a lot more trials than I do. I have them on often in the background, but I'm not able to pay the kind of detailed attention to them that you guys do. But that one, when it's interesting because people think that the tech person is so boring, but really and truly, the tech person is going to be the person that gets you convicted. You know, like
Yes.
that, it's their testimony that is everything now. And as I was saying to Aaron and Chris before the stream and Jenny, is that it's not in DNA so much anymore. It's in digital data. It's in
Right.
location, movement, messages, communication. The fact, did you leave your phone at home? Because that doesn't help either. And
Your OnStar
cars,
data, cars. Yeah.
cars. I don't even have OnStar. I have a Hyundai, and for the first 3 years of the lease I had, they paid for the Blue Link uplink thing. So the app on my phone, I could start the car. It would tell me if the doors were locked, how many miles were on it,
Oh, wow.
if how much gas was in it, where it was. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy, the information that my car has on me. And then you sync your phone to your Apple Play or your Android CarPlay, whatever it is that you have, and there's more information.
Right.
So there you go. Wireless networks connected to gets lots of people in trouble. Also, great, Sneaky Side, you're correct. Barry Adams says, my Cellebrite would just be my queries to AI image generators about Mr. Roger characters interacting with each other based on situations I've seen.
Well, mine's about spiders now, so I can see what mine is.
Okay.
You got to make sure you come back every week, Barry. We need you to keep us laughing.
Oh my goodness. We were just talking about AI too. Maybe you have something you can teach us.
When I get the images, my friends aren't as appreciative as the chat. I appreciate it. We appreciate you keeping us laughing.
Well, the description of it is very, very funny. So Barb, I think more people can wrap their minds around digital evidence than can understand DNA. I agree because, you know, DNA is extremely scientific. It's blood and tissue and all the sciencey things. Whereas now I got my first cell phone in 1993, so it's been a minute now, right? I don't have to know a ton about computers and phones and things to know that
I get mine in 2001, so
you can find your friends. You know, when I was in France with my friends, we all had iPhones and we all had Find My Friends on it all. Like we were tracking each other all the time, which was extremely helpful. Okay.
Hey, Brittany, my daughter-in-law's on. Brittany, that's my new daughter-in-law.
Welcome. Barry, this is this is an extraordinarily small Cellebrite report for me. Mine usually start at 10K and go up from there. So I pulled this one because I knew it would load. But yeah, so we're looking here. We can see where this person has done. It's all of their physical fitness information, right? So you can go back here Oh, and images. There are 2,786 images. Here's the timeline that I was talking about. There's 9,500 items that they're called artifacts, right? When you find something on a computer or a phone, like these 119 passwords, those are called artifacts, to the best of my knowledge. Now, if we've got somebody who's really techie here, then I'm going to sound like a first grader because my knowledge is limited and this stuff is moving faster than I'm able to keep up with it. And Cellebrite only provides a limited amount of education for those who are not in the state's attorney's office. Unfortunately, I've been on the phone with them many times. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that I don't want to click through here without, because I didn't have a chance to click through. I just pulled up the beginning of it, but I wanted to show you guys what this looks like, you know, because you hear about it so much, and we can look at them further down the line. I just, you know, trying to get all of like the PDF viewer to show up on StreamYard to make sure I'm still talking to you and I haven't sent myself gone and all the things. I just wanted to sort of start with that. So is anybody surprised by what they see here, or is this what you expected? Or
if I wasn't researching with you, I'd be surprised. Like, of course, Murdoch was like a big thing for me. I was glued to the television or my phone if I was out somewhere. That I've watched trials a lot, but that one was the one that I really paid attention to, and now I'm going back and paying even more attention to. When you were talking about how we're going to talk about, you know, this kind of stuff, and I like really like listening to that now, knowing about this kind of report blows my mind. That all the details they could get. Like before I heard it and I heard about the 283 steps and all that stuff. But now to see exactly what it looks, it's just like, now it's not, it's not here anymore. Now it's like thinking, oh my gosh, like it's amazing.
The PDF, right, is not actually as illustrative as illustrative, you know what I mean, as the Cellebrite reader program. So what I thought I would do, and then I got to talking on the telephone and didn't do it, is I will open the actual Cellebrite reader in the Windows virtual machine I have on here, and I'm going to take a bunch of screenshots and show you different sections from it. It's too big of a I don't have the processing power to run that and this and not like I don't have. So that is the beginning of a Cellebrite extraction.
It's a lot involved.
Barry says I'd expect thousands of pages of technical things, but as a busybody, I wish it could just point me to where the T is. Sometimes, like I said, if the person who pulled it starts tagging stuff, and you as a person reviewing, you can tag things too. And if you look, the date range for these 4,000 pages is 30 days. Then again, the most inculpatory or exculpatory details aren't the T, they're the where's and the whens and the pings and the whatnot. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This is actually a small report for 30 days because like I was saying, it just depends on how much they use their cell phone for texting. If a person's not a big texter, they're not going to have as much. If they don't take pictures, they're not going to have as much.
Right.
But if they're on that phone like we are, we're going to have that much in just 4 days. You know, so
yeah, exactly. Which is why cloud services have become so important, because it's taking our pictures and stuff. But here under where it says legacy phone settings, it's got message retention duration forever, which is how mine is set, so that if you sync to a cloud, you can go back and get old text messages. This is for Apple. I have no idea on Android. Location services enabled and Find My iPhone enabled. When you have those things set to true, then you're going to basically say, okay, send signals to the world now.
And even like the location data, every app you have So if you turn the location on, that app will also share information. So it'll tell that report, okay, hey, this app says show my location for this app. This app might not have it turned on. So if you have every app turned on to
Right.
show the location, then you're going to have an even bigger report than what you have.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then to go back to France again, because I was on I paid for an international data plan for 10 days, or maybe it was for 30 days. I don't remember, but I didn't. Data is expensive, right?
Yeah.
So I went into all the different applications on my phone and I started turning them all off. Like anything that wasn't necessary to me being there and being able to basically catch a train and find my friends, all of it, I turned all of it off.
Yeah. And
So
people think too, because you were talking about earlier, I don't know if it was it here or you and I were talking, I don't even remember now, about how you were talking about it. Just because you don't have your phone with you, you can still be in the area with someone else that, has their phone, and then your vehicle will have information that you were in that same location with the person that you might be in trouble with. So your vehicle was there, and they could say, well, wait a minute, that car was there. It might be circumstantial, but so was the whole Alex Murdaugh case. So it's like little things like that. And then I think you've told me before that sometimes you can just be driving down the road and your phone will ping that tower. And that tower just happens to be an area where something may have happened. So of course they're
right,
going to look at your phone too, even though you might not have a thing to do with it. They're still going to
right.
look at you because your
There's a
phone pinged to that.
specific kind of warrant for that. And
Mhm.
so the cell phone stuff is not super cut and dried, right? There's
Right.
pieces
Right.
to it. So I'm gonna give it to you guys. Thank you so much, Judy T. Really appreciate you joining us, and enjoy
Yes.
the
Thank you.
Christmas lights. I'm gonna bring you guys this stuff in chunks, like how we have done sentencing, so that
Yeah.
you have something to look at, so that you have something to talk about. And the reason why I think Murdaugh is such an instructional case for this is because his Suburban had data, his
Yes.
phone had data, Maggie's phone, his son Paul's phone.
Yeah. Because the kennel
It,
video really set it. Set it
there
up.
was the kennel video that he didn't know existed. What blows my
Right.
mind, and the second case that I've seen, is that that they didn't know what the phone passcode was and they didn't try his birthday. Like,
Yeah, well, I know
hello?
with Paul's phone, they had because with the phones, I guess with iPhones, you would know this. I don't like you have so many chances to unlock it, and then it will lock it to where you can't get anything out of it.
Right.
So no, like Lieutenant Dove, they tried so many times, and then they were like, okay, we can't try it again because we'll lose everything. So that's when he ended up talking to the this uh,
Right. Exactly.
yeah, then people I forgot. And they were actually able to get a program that they were able actually to get his stuff out. But yeah, some people use simple stuff like birthdays and things like that, and some people don't. It just depends on how secretive they want to be. But luckily,
Like
they were
that would
able
like
to get that stuff
literally be the
out.
first thing I tried. The first thing I tried
Yeah,
on my phone, on
yeah,
anyone's phone, would be give me their birthday.
yeah.
Barb says that you know how you're talking about something, then see an ad for it on
Secret service.
phone. Go to your mic settings and check out which apps you're allowing the mic to have access to. And
Yeah, that's a good thing to. Yeah,
I did
good
not
point.
allow my mic to have access to Instagram, which I use very rarely, and just kind of to look at some celebrity accounts and things. But I was having someone sort of try and teach me some stuff about Instagram, and then stuff popped up in my Instagram that she and I were talking about, and I never allowed mic access to Instagram. So
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah,
How?
the whole thing is
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird.
Yeah. All right. So we'll come back and look some more at Cellebrite extractions and some of the information that it can give. I don't want to bore everyone to death. Um, and like Barry says, we want to find the T. So this is the next thing I'm going to show you is it cut off kind of partially, sort of. So, and I didn't want to re-download it from wherever it was living before, but I'm going to show you what the FBI showed up and provided in my last case, which was that young man's murder trial. So,
I said send prayers for Brittany, my daughter-in-law. She has pneumonia.
oh
So,
gosh, I'm so sorry. Please feel better.
amongst other things. But yeah, she just found out.
So I've also got things like there's detailed pieces of this to talk to you guys about if you're interested, which includes the warrants. My colleague told me that the warrant for a phone the other day said the phone, and like that was literally it. And if you know anything about the law, that is not how a warrant is supposed to be written,
Right.
especially if you want the contents. Thanks, Barb. That if you want the contents of that device, I mean, do you want the device? Okay, you can
There you go.
say
Yeah.
red iPhone 13, you know,
With the
with
case, blah. Yeah.
case and a pop socket thingy, right? That'll give you the device, but it doesn't give you the ability to get into the device.
Right.
So there are different levels of warrants. Plus, how is it that the police can get into your social media accounts? Because they can, right? And I think this is all important information for us to be aware of. Like, I don't know that you necessarily have to understand all the ins and outs of it, but I think being aware of the information that is not just going out to Google, but that law enforcement or the government can pull from your devices is worth knowing. And I think a lot of people are assuming a lot less than what is actually true.
Yes, I agree.
Would you say that's fair?
That's yes, definitely. Yeah.
All
And some
right,
people are
so
just so, I don't know, stupid's not the right word. Some people just don't get it. They just don't get it.
right,
It's like if they watch any TV at all, they're going to see that this stuff is
right,
able to be
right,
accessed, and they just don't pay attention.
right. So this is a cutoff on the side because I think I had it blown up in another thing, but this is from the FBI. This is a CAST report from, you can see it's from November 13th of 2023. It's only 12 pages long, but they flew the guy into my trial to talk about it. So you can see here, it says the Federal Bureau of Investigation Cellular Analysis Survey Team, CAST, was requested something cut off division to analyze the cell phone records for T-Mobile's cellular device. Target phone is believed to be associated with homicide investigation that occurred on. So then it tells you how they did it, which they're using the tower and the cell site information, which served the cell phone during this activity. So it gives, stop it. Stop. Okay, sorry. Stop. This is what happens when you use free stuff you're not used to using. So they put the cell sites in existence during the time of the incident, input into mapping software using latitude and longitude coordinates of the cell sites provided by the service provider. The cell sites associated with the phone was located utilizing the mapping software and plotted cell site data. Any of you guys can do that if you really want to, by taking longitude and latitude coordinates and plugging it into Google Maps and then running the little, it might be a JSON file, I'm not sure. So it did a historical site analysis, and the whole point of this is to show you how they're calculating this.
You saw that in Myrtle too.
Did they do this?
With his car data to find out where he was when where her phone was found and where his SUV was at the same point. So yeah,
Gotcha.
they did a lot of that with him.
So the different towers and the different carriers assess information differently. So that's more math, guys. I don't know about you. I don't do math very well.
I don't either.
This tells you how long it takes the cell phone to ping off the tower and what a round trip network measurement from tower to device and back is referred to as a timing advance. The device will be located no further than the outside edge of the shaded arc, but may be located within the arc. not based on the tower with the strongest, clearest signal. And then I redacted some of the information, but I wanted you to see this because it shows that it starts tracking this young man at 4:03 p.m. And you can see where he is over here. And this first towards the left-hand side, that wedge right there. And then as he's moving, you can see follow the direction of the black arrows and the dots, and you can see him moving across town, right? Across, this is in Tampa, obviously, that's where I am. And so this happened at an apartment complex, and it's showing you the overlap of his signals. Like, that's how strong it is that they can pin it down to where his phone is, like that close, right? That's what so here, the red and the blue and the pink, these are 3 different addresses
Right.
within the same little area. And that tells you where his phone was at what time.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Alexis.
Dog has a GPS collar, and even when she's laying next to me, it's pinging that she's left herself.
Yeah, they're not always 100%.
Sneakies, I said, I just learned what an azimuth was this week, so the fact it's coming up against a suit is uncanny. Is that what this
weird.
is? Because you might not have been here for my story about how I had to beg my math teacher not to give me a D so that I could stay in public school. Bye, Laura. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, and I hope you come back again.
Yes, thank you, Laura. So we appreciate you.
This is enlarged even more, and it's going down. You can see it's like to the second almost.
Wow. Yeah, it is. I say wow a lot. It just dawned on me. Wow. Wow. Right. So I'm sorry for saying wow every second, but this stuff just wows me.
And you guys, this is from 2021. So we are going into 2025, and I'm giving you information from 2021. So imagine now, I don't have a newer one to give you at the moment. This trial just happened this year. So in my current discovery, I did not have something more current that was in a format that I could actually present to you tonight. But you see here now they're narrowing down the time. This is now in minutes. I keep doing that, thinking it's going to highlight, and it blocks it instead. And then it goes into the next day, and see this little dot right here that it's pointing to? That right there at the, I don't know, I don't have a good pointer, but right where that arrow is pointing to, that's a green dot. That's where they think the phone was. And they've also indicated which towers are T-Mobile and which ones are Sprint. And that's the end of the report.
Let's see. OnlyFan asked, does it matter if the location is switched on? Asking for a friend. OnlyFan is always asking just for a friend. Aren't you OnlyFan? You're always asking for a friend.
Well, it's good to have friends in the know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so you don't have to have location services enabled, because this is information that's coming not from your phone, it's coming from the carrier. So that means that whomever your carrier is can be subpoenaed, or a warrant can be served on them asking for the carrier data records. And I'm going to show you those. I just couldn't find a good example before we came on here tonight. I did a huge workup on a federal murder case several years ago and it was so extensive. It was just the carrier detail records that I took this it's CSV files, and I color coded it and replaced phone numbers for names of the individuals involved. And then I ended up having to like print it and tape it together to present it to the attorney, because I've got this old school
Wow.
attorney who, you know, I can't show him a 16-inch laptop screen and say,
Right.
here, do you understand what I'm saying? No, I had printed out this and taped together this giant document and took it and laid it out in front of him and said, here you go. Now do you see? Because here's the location, here's the person, here's who they were contacting, here's the in, here's the out, and on it goes. And you can map their location.
And there's so many things too that go into determining people, like where they are, what they're doing, besides just the Cellebrite report. I mean, you've got, like you said, you've got your cell towers, and there's multiple towers, and then you have your own cell records. And sometimes that's what holds a lot of things up, because a lot of those people, like AT&T and stuff, they take their time with that stuff. And they
Well,
have certain
but
time they're supposed to do it in. But
right. Well, correct. But you know that they can also do emergency warrants,
right.
and get the information immediately, which I'm sure I have not been following OnlyFans. I am that one friend.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, wait a minute. How about me? I'm that one friend too. Okay, I see how you are. I see how you are.
Yeah, right. Saying we all have the one friend we're
Yeah.
asking for. Yeah. I totally lost my train of thought.
No, we were talking about like emergency reports from a.
Oh yeah, so
like,
the law enforcement does not have to wait, right? There are emergency applications. They can contact Facebook and Instagram and all the things and put a freeze on your account, and then also say, by the way, you can't notify the account owner that there's a freeze. So the account owner can actually still be making interactions, but the freeze means they can't delete it.
Right.
You know, and then you can also send out preservation letters. Now, I'm getting discovery, right, years down the road. So if somebody didn't, excuse me, if somebody didn't go the night of or the next day and start knocking on doors, if law enforcement didn't do a ring camera, you know, neighborhood canvas, all that stuff, there's no chance I'm going to go back and find digital data on a ring cam or something like that. So time can be very much of the essence. And if somebody does not get that information, if they don't pull that gas station footage or whatever it was, please don't bite me, then it's gone. You know, you're not going to get it, because a convenience store's right over it every 30 days. Some don't record. You know, there's all this stuff that factors into the different pieces. So where law enforcement can, on the social media pieces, they will absolutely put preservation letters in. And I rarely have to do that, because my cases are not coming in. The cases that I'm getting from the JAC have been kicked down the road a lot.
Right.
My colleague, my young friend, who is the attorney, he's getting new cases in. And so we have a much better shot at being able to pull our own data in, not
That makes
have
it
to
more
rely
interesting.
on what law enforcement did.
Right. Yeah, because
So,
a lot of the ring cameras and stuff, because we have Nest, and they only hold your videos for 30 days unless you go in and save them to your phone or something like that. So
right.
timing is important in an investigation,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
So there's not, in my world, unfortunately, working for the JAC on these Florida cases, it's not so much investigation that I get to do at all. You can see the investigation has already been done. All I can do then is go in and analyze, right? I mean, I can read the information, I can compare it, I can check it for accuracy. It's just that I'm not the one that's originating this information, you know? And like in Sarah Boone's trial, how they brought the elderly neighbor, I guarantee you that Billy went and knocked on every door in that complex to try and find a witness that lived there. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, investigator I feel like sometimes is a lie. Like, I don't feel like I'm an investigator at all. I feel like I'm an analyst.
So you're investigating the facts more than anything, because you have to investigate the facts of what they put together for you to make
Yeah,
sure that they're
yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's kind of like fact checking law enforcement, or checking behind the boxes. And I think one of the things we're going to look at, which is maybe not as interesting, but I want you to see what a warrant looks like. I've got one set up here, but I'm not going to do it because we're already pretty far in. But I want you to see what the warrant looks like, because what you guys are all watching as true crime fans is you're watching the end product, or what comes back on the warrant return. You should know what it looks like when they go looking for the information. And
I
what
have
you should
Cobra,
also
there's a
know,
lot in it.
what you should also know is that warrants are supposed to be specific. And these warrants that are going out for your digital data, I'm just going to call it that. I don't know if that's the right term or not, but I'm just going to call it that, right? For your stuff, like your digital imprint in the world, I'm going to call it digital data. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. But you should see how broad these warrants are that are going out in the world to get your digital data back. I think this is something that this is learnable now for all of us to have some sort of awareness, of what they can do and what can come back. Barb says there's a method that pinpoints location not by cell towers. Heard about it on Surviving the Survivor. It utilizes coding in commercial apps that tell the app creator you were near their businesses. Well, the Walgreens app, if you have that, knows when you're in the Walgreens store. So yeah, I mean, it's in the coding of the different apps for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much more to it than I would ever be able to explain to you guys. I'm just trying to take a little bit of the mystery out of it for you. And I see, when I am able to join a chat, I see a lot of times chats have a lot of misinformation going on. So I just want to try to, where I can, explain what is actually true, or
We
what's
appreciate it
happening.
very much. You've opened my eyes to a lot of things, stuff that I didn't know about, and now I'm like really paying attention when I watch a trial. I'm like, oh, but wait.
Yeah, so
write
for
my
me,
notes. Write my notes.
it's really
But
hard for me
Sam
because
said,
a lot of times I'll like put a note in my phone, or write a note somewhere, and it'll be like, watch trial testimony of so and so, or I'll put the name of an expert, and then I forget everything.
right.
Of course, because we've discussed this before, that my memory is the size of goldfish. So I forget to go back and look. But the Murdaugh trial just stood out because obviously it was such a graphic and horrible case for so many reasons. But that testimony about the Suburban and the phones and all that stuff, I think, is just really I was sitting here with my mouth wide open because I did not know that they could say how fast he was walking and how many steps he took, and all of that stuff. Yes, OnlyFans, we are all true crime nerds.
Yeah.
So Barry says, I have a goldfish memory, thank goodness for my phone notes and Outlook to do. I use my phone notes a lot, and my 24-year-old colleague who has the memory of not a goldfish. I'm like,
I can't wait till you have him on.
Yeah,
I can't wait till you have him on.
He's gonna come on. We're trying to figure out, like, we don't want our discussion to go off the rails, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about that. But he is doing an unbelievable job as a brand new criminal defense attorney, and I'm just like in amazement. And I'm very lucky that he was in our chat last week, but I'm lucky that he accompanied, that we work a lot of the same cases, right? And like, he goes to the jail with me and stuff, because I can always rely on his memory, since I cannot rely on my own. So, well, we've had a lot of doggy talk in the chat. And so lots of us love our dogs. I don't have one. I have the bitiest cat on the planet.
I have my 4 dogs that are whiny. My pit bull is the worst. She just makes she's so loud when she whines. And then my little pug, like she howls. She does a the whole time. Now I sound like Squeegee. They were doing dog house on their Wednesday nights. It's like down. Yeah, even when he did Sneaky Side, they were doing that different sounds of dogs. Now
I
I'm
fell
thinking about it in my head.
asleep.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
watching, but I think I fell asleep before it was over.
yeah.
Alexis W says, I don't know how I'd survive an extended power loss. I have tech integrated into my entire universe.
I know, it's
So
crazy. Like
Hurricane
when you,
Milton knocked my
yeah,
power out. And
yeah,
I was without power. I don't remember. Was it like 3
3
days-ish?
days. I think so. Yeah, I think it was 3 days.
And it was at a point where it was getting harder and harder to, you have these extra battery packs and things to charge your things. But when those things run out of charge,
Yeah,
then then you start to get like, oh God, here we go. And
right.
the hunt for ice is on and all of the things. Mandy, this cracks me up. Mandy says, you want to hear a nightmare? A Florida girl packing all these clothes for cold weather, so much space needed. Tell me, I had to go buy I had to buy clothes when I went up to Ohio a couple of years ago at Christmas time. I did not have anything. My
Barry.
Barry says, I described my brain's gears as the floppy wing noise pigeon make when they take off and down.
You better come back every week, Barry, because we need that. Oh
It's
my
damn, I just
God.
got a little PTSD when you said I fell asleep. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to give you PTSD. Sarah falling asleep with George in the suitcase. But yeah, so thank you so much, you guys. We held 20 people at a time for the whole thing without a raid, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so happy all of you guys came and joined us for the sort of basic intro intro to cell phone and digital data. Mandy said I had to buy clothes too, and my mom got me a bunch for Christmas. I started sweating just touching them. I feel you.
You can send it to me. You can send it to me. I need it. I get cold.
Oh my God. So I had been in Florida, I want to say for like 10 years, maybe. I was coming up on 10 years. And I was invited in my former career to go to Kentucky to teach a week-long class and to do this every month in the winter in a very old building that had no heat, which I slept in. I had literally had pneumonia. My mother had to come get me. I could not get on a plane and come back to Florida. It was crazy. It was crazy. Oh my God, my mother just said everyone needs to hit the like
I know. She is becoming the queen. I tell you.
You guys,
Queen Mama there. And subscribe. You forgot to say subscribe, Mama.
Nikki Side, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all, guys. And I will be back again in a week, and hopefully you'll be here with us too. And if not, you can always rewatch. These streams stay up. I do not edit them, so they are just as messy on replay as they are in real life.
If you think of any comments too after, like for the replay, if you could go in and leave them, because that helps Sam's channel a lot, because that keeps it, keeps the algorithm going for her. So if you think of anything, or if you just want to pop in and say, hey, blah, blah, blah about the show, or I have this question or whatever, that'd be fabulous.
That would be awesome, because guess what I forget to do? Put tags and the things and, all the stuff you're supposed to do to grow your channel.
I've told you about that.
I know, and I need to
maybe I'll do it in the comments for you or something that way. Add it in there.
I need to put your stuff in. Make sure I'll post Jenny's socials. Make sure you go and check her out and give her some love. Thank you all so much. Are we going to talk about Santa's possible criminal convictions next week if he wasn't such a nice dude? You guys are too funny. Like, why would I want to go out there and deal with real people and headaches when I can have all you guys here just crack me up? Where can you go? Where do we comment? You can just go on comments or go to the community page. I'm trying to put community posts up earlier, so that I don't know how to have like an ongoing conversation during the week, right? And I'm learning YouTube. I mean, I've watched it for a long time, but I've never tried to do it, and I'm nowhere on social media. So this can be a learning curve. And yeah, any interaction though, I love it. Thank you so, so much. And
Yes.
for those of you who celebrate Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas and whatever Festivus, holidays,
Yes. Happy holidays to all you guys.
all the things. And hopefully we will see you again in a week. And yes, safe travels to everybody
Yes, definitely.
who is traveling. Please be very careful out there, okay? You guys stay safe.
Definitely.
And we'll
And
see you soon.
Watch your cell phone usage, guys.
Yeah. Protect your phone. Don't bite
Yep.
me. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.